The Majority Leader.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of H.R. 8322, which was received from the House.
The Clerk will report.
H.R. 8322, an act to amend the FISA Amendments Act of 2008 to extend the authorities of Title VII and so forth and for other purposes.
Is there an objection to proceeding to the measure?
Reserving the right to object.
The Senator from Oregon.
Thank you, Madam President. Americans understand that every single day there are abuses of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And the reality is a growing number of Democrats and Republicans are now saying that a straight extension of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act law is absolutely unacceptable in any way, shape, or form. So it is clear it's time for real reforms that protect Americans from warrantless surveillance by a government that they rightly do not trust. So for the last hour or so, I've been speaking to colleagues in the other body, the House, and they have told me unequivocally that this short-term extension makes reform more likely and expiration makes reform less likely. But make no mistake about it, opponents of reform have shown no willingness for years and years to negotiate meaningful reforms. And those of us in a bipartisan, bicameral way who have insisted that this time will be different want to emphasize that this morning. The reality is that the country believes that security and liberty are not mutually exclusive. We can have both. A good bill that we're insisting on will do that. A bad bill will give us less security and less liberty. So I hope that opponents of reform are going to understand what's going on in the Congress and in the country and start talking about what is genuinely good reform and what it would look like. I will say that I'm now the longest-serving member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I have never seen the concern on both sides of the aisle that's bicameral for real reform. So I've talked to my colleagues in the House, and their views have been particularly important because they've told us about their work last night and what it means for real reform. And we're going to be following that up here every single day because, as Ben Franklin said, and you're going to hear me talk about that, anybody who gives up their liberty for security doesn't really deserve either. We're going to insist on it. I yield the floor.
Without objection. Without objection.
The Senate will proceed to the measure.
The Senate will proceed to the measure.
I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read a third time.
Is there an objection?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I know of no further debate on the bill.
Is there no further debate?
The question is on passage of
The question is on passage of the bill.
All in favor say aye.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The bill is passed.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Without objection.